He kills them because he loves them. But
No, he doesn't kill them because he loves them. That's not what I said. Come on, you guys, you're better than that. Think. Listen. Let's go back and forth and have a dialogue. I never said God kills people because he loves them.
why did he kill them?
Because they destroyed other people.
A crowd of bold, skeptical students corners Cliffe with questions that cut straight to the bone. If God is real, why does history look like a slaughterhouse? The debate is raw, the tension is real, and nobody is holding back. Cliffe defends the God of the Old Testament judgment, justice, and all while Ryan fires back with cold statistics, arguing humanity is getting better on its own, no God required. One man points to the cross as the answer to human evil. The other points to a smartphone and says, look at the trend. But when free will, morality, and the meaning of human existence are all on the table, can reason alone carry the weight? Who actually has faith here? And in what? Stay in the conversation.
God, at a certain time in history, used the Jewish people to judge the Canaanites, to judge the Egyptians, and then a few hundred years later, he used the Assyrians and the Babylonians to judge the Jews.
You worship a God that works through people through killing people.
At times, yes. And I hope that you are very angry if someone rapes your sister or if someone harms or destroys someone you love. I hope you are genuinely angry. There is such a thing as righteous indignation over the sex trafficking of children.
And then you kill them?
No, you're angry. And then you have to think through, how am I going to respond? If this guy comes up to him and knifes him, and I say, so what? Whatever. I don't love him. If I love him and he comes up and knifes him, I will seek to physically stop him from thrusting the knife in a second time. If I say, I don't care, then I am so self-absorbed that I don't really care about him. I really don't love him. God is angry, not in spite of the fact that he loves us. He's angry because he loves us, and we destroy each other or we destroy ourselves. That's why God is angry.
And to judge those people for not subscribing to because he's God, he is allowed to kill those that he loves. He kills them because he loves them. But
No, he doesn't kill them because he loves them. That's not what I said. Come on, you guys, you're better than that. Think. Listen. Let's go back and forth and have a dialogue. I never said God kills people because he loves them.
why did he kill them?
Because they destroyed other people.
Why did he care? Why did he not let them go free?
Because he loves people who get destroyed.
Them.
He judges people who destroy other people. It's that simple.
What does he love? He loves the people that they're destroying. He killed 3,000 of them. It was men, women, children, and neighbors, Cliff.
He killed those people because they had done evil. He judged them.
What evil did they do, Cliff?
The Jewish people began to sacrifice their babies in imitation of the Canaanites, who sacrificed their babies to Moloch, to Baal. And so the Jews began to copy their neighbors, the Canaanites, and began to sacrifice their babies as an act of worship. God judged them for that. Secondly, the Jews, in imitation of the Canaanites, the Midianites, the Hittites, and all the other tites, began to say that if you really want to know God, you have sex with a temple prostitute. God judged the Jews for following the Canaanites' example of temple prostitution and sacrificing babies. And that's why they got judged.
Those are the two reasons they were judged and murdered, or I guess let's use the word killed because that sounds nicer. In the book of Exodus.
That's exactly right. He killed the Canaanites for the same reason.
I have two questions. When was the first record of the Bible? Like the first historical record of Christianity. What date was that?
Okay.
So I just
What are you looking for?
just the first record of Christianity. What date?
All right. One of my favorite books in the New Testament is 1 Corinthians.
So just the date.
1 Corinthians was written 50, 51, 52 AD. Somewhere right around there.
What do you say about the validity of Christianity based on the time frame of other religions? Because in my basic knowledge, I know Hinduism was established about 3,000 years before Christ, or the changeover. So that's 3,000 years of time that religion has been around. We've only been around with Christianity for 2,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
That means Hinduism is somewhere around 5,000 years old. and their principles are a lot different than Christianity. What do you believe about the validity of Christianity based on this religion that's much more established than us, than Christianity?
First point is, I never have argued that Jesus Christ is true because faith in him has been around for 2,000 years. Instead, when I look for truth, I really don't care how long or how old the religion is or a philosophy or whatever, or an economic system or whatever.
Yeah.
Truth is not determined by how old is it. Second point, though, that I think really gets to your issue is, the Bible insists that there are going to be a lot of people in heaven who never heard the word Jesus Christ. You're making a great point, which is, God loves us and he's been reaching out to us for thousands of years. Long before Jesus ever was born, God by his Spirit was reaching out, drawing people to himself. And the Old Testament gives us a partial record of that.
In that case, then, what if Hinduism's closer to the teaching of God than Christianity?
Good
What
question.
if Christianity is a more morphed, humanistic view of
Right.
the basic principles that Hinduism taught?
You bet. Well, there's only one way I know to answer that question. You better read the Vedas, Upanishads, and Bhagavad Gita, and you better read the New Testament Gospels, and you better ask yourself, does the evidence point to the avatars of Hinduism being more reliable, or does the evidence of his life, teachings, death, and resurrection point to Jesus Christ being more reliable? And then you got to make your decision. It's the only way I know for you. You can decide honestly. You got to read this stuff.
Okay.
And I can promise you, after reading the Upanishads and Vedas and Bhagavad Gita myself, I cannot put my faith in Hinduism.
Why is that?
Thanks for asking. Can one of you come out here? The stick man, all right. All right. According to Hinduism, this is part of God, this is part of God, right? Everything is part of God, including this, right? That's monism. Monism is the basis of Hinduism, which is everything is one, everything is part of God. Okay, I'm with him so far, but watch. Haul back, hit him as hard as I can. All right? What just happened?
God hit God.
Thank you. We are communicating here. What just happened, according to Hinduism, is part of God just hit part of God, which means there is no basis for justice. There's no basis for ethics. If everything is part of God, that means good is part of God, evil is part of God, apathy is part of God, everything's part of God. It just is. Gandhi understood the fallacy of Hinduism. Gandhi got his understanding that the caste system in India was wrong. Not from Hinduism, obviously. He got it from the Sermon on the Mount, where Jesus teaches that there is a being separate from him and me, God the Creator. This gentleman and I are part of God's good creation. And God gave me this hand to respect and be compassionate to this man, not to hold back and hit him. That's why Gandhi fought against the caste system, because he realized the error in Hinduism. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's why, it's one of the main reasons I cannot put my faith in the avatars and buy into monism, which teaches it's all part of God. Because guess what? The rape of a woman is not God raping God. The murder of a person is not God murdering God. And the abuse of an innocent child is not God abusing a child. False. Everything within me says false. My reason, my conscience, my ability to love says, time out, that's wrong. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
God hitting God, that doesn't make sense to you. But in Christianity, it's the exact same thing. The only difference is humans put their own spin on it because they didn't understand that. So they put their own, a son of God hitting a son of God. A son is a human construct. A son does not exist in, the divine mind. A son is when you give birth, you have a son or you have a daughter. So a son hitting a son of God. It's just that human spin on that same basic idea. But yet you decide to believe in that because it's not as foreign to you, because it has its basis in our own human.
When the Bible says that you and I are children of God, they're talking about what we become We read in John chapter 1. When you put your faith in Christ, you become a child of God. It is not saying that we are literally the offspring of God a Father and God a Mother having sex and we're born. It's not the point.
We're creation of God.
We are created in the likeness of God, in the image of God. That's right. Which means I have a free will. And if I go up to this woman and steal her money, that is me as a human being choosing to pervert the purpose for which God made me, which was to respect her, and it's me choosing to denigrate her by stealing her money. That is evil, and God judges me. He holds me responsible for that. Why? Because he gave me free will.
But so God raping God, you don't buy into. But something kind of like God and another thing kind of like God, if that thing that's kind of like God rapes that other thing that's kind of like God, that's okay? That makes sense?
No, it's not okay.
But it makes more
But because
sense.
we have free will, no, you see, what the Bible teaches is exactly the way we experience reality, which is, I have a free will. I can love her, I can hate her. I can help her, or I can use her. And you can do the same.
Right. And just like you can do that, God can love you or God can hate you. Because that is a human construct that we apply to the divine mind because we don't understand it. So God naturally has to be like us. It's him in the Bible.
Nope.
His word.
Nope. I am convinced that I can love her, not because I have to, because I freely choose to. And I begin to realize the only way I can have a free will is if there is more to reality than matter and energy, than complex biochemical reactions. I've got to have a soul, a free will, in order to love her, because I don't have to love her. I can denigrate her. And the only way I can have a free will is if there is some type of God who creates me with a soul and gives me a free will. Why do you have such a problem with God loving you?
Because I think most of the Old Testament is bull, to be honest with you. I think the Gospels are fine. I'm a total Jesus freak. I love Jesus. Love your neighbor, totally. That's awesome. Jesus was a hippie. I think that's great. But the Old Testament has to get in with that. If you're going to buy into Jesus and you're going to buy into the we're going to heaven, you have to buy into all the stories and all the bullshit that came before them.
All right, real simple. It's real simple. The word mercy, the word compassion to describe God is used far more frequently in the Old Testament than it is in the New Testament. And the bloodiest book in the Bible is not in the Old Testament. The bloodiest book, exactly. The bloodiest book in the Bible is in the New Testament. It's the book of Revelation. So the Bible is horribly consistent. God is just and God is loving. God hates evil and he loves to forgive people for their evil. And that's what the cross of Christ is all about. He bled and died on that cross to pay the penalty for human evil. Now, just think about your worldview. In your worldview, evil wins.
See, you're saying that you can't base morality on reason. I disagree. I say you can't have morality without reason.
I agree.
There are other animals who cooperate.
Yeah.
There are other animals who refrain from hurting each other for evolutionary reasons. But it wasn't until mankind was adapted reason, adapted an intellect, that we even began to have free will. But I don't think free will is something you either have or you don't, like it's an on and off switch. I think free will is something we're still acquiring. Think about your bodies. Think about what they really are. They're more or less machines. I don't care if you have reason. I don't care if you can think through things. You still have chemicals, hormones, bodily processes, systems that affect what you do and battle against who you think you are behind your eyes. But what I'm suggesting is that humans aren't just going to sit still like what they are right now. We're ascending, we're transcending, and we're going to continue to do so. Like I said yesterday, the world's becoming less violent. Why would that be? It's not because of Jesus. I don't think it's not because of God. I mean, look at our phone. What are these? They're not going to stop at where they're at. We're just going to keep integrating with the tools that we've created. They're going to create us. I just don't think if you look around and you look at reality, I don't think that this feedback loop, this increasing empathy, this lessening of violence, this transcendence of the human form, I don't see what it has to do with a God.
I find it amazing that you can stand there and say, we really are getting better.
Oh, I really do believe it.
I know you do.
If you just look statistically, we kill each other less, we live longer, we understand each other better, we know more, we're more literate than at any other time in history. And why did that happen? It's because humans keep walking forward. And we walk forward whether or not we think there's a God, whether or not we think the God is Allah, whether or not we think the God is the different gods of the different Hinduisms or whatever. We keep walking forward. And as we walk forward, we get better.
Okay, fine. I respect your opinion, but I disagree. And so does H.G. Wells. H.G. Wells was an English philosopher who lived through World War I, and he believed like you. He believed in the perfectibility of the human race through education, through technology, through scientific discovery. World War I came along, and H.G. Wells realized that World War I was the war to end all wars. But when World War II came along, H.G. Wells was confronted by the fact that the most highly educated, technologically sophisticated, scientifically oriented nation of the world, Nazi Germany, was committing some of the most horrible atrocities imaginable. Dachau, Auschwitz, and Buchenwald. And after World War II, H.G. Wells wrote a book called The Fate of Man. And in this book, H.G. Wells writes, I used to pin my hopes on the perfectibility of the human race through education, science, and technology. But I have witnessed in my lifetime a return to barbarism, violence, and slaughtering people like never before. And my faith in man is bankrupt. I respect the honesty of H.G. Wells.
But if you do look at the numbers, as our population explodes exponentially, the amount of people that we kill, like the people that we kill, is going down in proportion to our population. Like we're just not as violent as we used to be. We're just not. We're more literate. We're more literate. We're more connected. We're more empathetic, and we will only become more connected as time goes on. And technology is going to facilitate that. This is going to become something that it's not, and it's going to do that quickly. It's going to
Wait.
It's going to facilitate an increase in empathy. And I think if H.G. Wells were around today and he saw the rapid changes going on in the world, he might have a little bit more hope than he did. And I could see human history in perspective the way that I really believe we can then.
Good. Okay, now, Ryan, I respect you. I cannot thank you enough for speaking the way you have. All right, you've been outstanding. But you have just provided me now with an excellent example of one of the things I've been pleading with all of you. When you pulled out that phone and said, come on, guys.
Oh, don't misunderstand me. I don't have faith in it. I'm not placing.
What do you mean?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, come on, Ryan.
No.
Come on, Ryan.
No.
Yes. Come on, Ryan. You know exactly what you did.
No, I'm not placing faith in it. I'm saying people just look at the trend. That's all I'm saying. Just look at the trends.
Ryan, come on now. Now you're broken with reason, Ryan. Come on.
Just look at the trend.
You did it beautifully, Ryan. You pulled out your phone and said, just look, guys.
No, it's an example.
This is how we're going to be connected.
It's merely.
I know it's merely an example, but what's it an example of? The perfectibility of human beings by themselves.
I'm not looking for perfectibility. I'm looking for trends. I'm not
fine.
Faith.
Better and better. Ryan, you have beautiful faith.
Look at where we're going.
You have magnificent faith.
No, I really
don't. Yes, you do. You have faith just the same way H.G. Wells had, that we can perfect ourselves.
That's not what I'm saying. It could all collapse in the next moment. But when I look at history, when I look at the trends, it suggests that it won't collapse.
Good. So your faith is in the perfectibility of us by us.
Looking at a verifiable trend of history, I'm not looking.
You just said it can collapse.
It could. And
okay, so you can't prove it, but you have evidence based on fewer people being murdered.
Science isn't looking to prove anything beyond a shadow of a doubt. We're looking for patterns. We're looking for trends.
Well, you have faith in the perfectibility of human beings by themselves. And all I'm saying is, the evidence is that Jesus Christ is more reliable than human beings. That's all I'm saying. And all I'm saying is, now you got to choose. You can choose to put your faith in technology, the perfectibility of human beings, like H.G. Wells did at one point in his life, like Ryan does now. Or you can choose to look at Jesus Christ and say the evidence is he is more reliable. But you both have faith.